to the Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zamet. Here's the news, views, reviews, and interviews. Let's get on with it. Well, it's been a little bit since the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer came out publicly, and it's getting good reaction by certain internet people. That's right, people, internet people, as that is pretty much the way we all communicate these days. Internet, even newspapers are on the internet now, or an app or whatever it is. But it's getting a good reaction, not great, just good, which is, a good start. That is the news. Let's get into views. Views is my story idea. Doesn't mean I want to change the story of Star Wars. I accept it for what it is, but I would like to add my input. Two ideas. I think the Mandalorian and Grogu film, as I've said, I would like to see they look into the Yoda planet. Let's call it the Yoda planet. I'd love to know the species, the origins and stuff like that, and that would be great. But the type of story, the overall feel to the story, does need to have that old school Star Wars adventure, and it does need to be centralized for kids. Not a kid's story, a story that kids can understand. And because really this is heavily directed to have that type of story, especially when you have a character like Grogu. They're also reintroducing, which I think is the character Babu Frick, which first and only appeared, first appeared in The Rise of Skywalker. Great little mechanical repairing creature. And Babu Frick, or a version of Babu Frick, the species, will be alongside in this story, the Mandalorian Grogu. It really does need to have a feel for, a kid-like type story. Not to the point that it's corny, but to the point that it is understood by that demographic. Anyway, that's my story idea for now. It's just take it or leave it. Anyway, let's get into reviews. Reviews this time around, as we are technically in the 10th year of anniversary for The Force Awakens, not much is going to happen, and, dare I say, I don't think it should happen much. I mean, I love The Force Awakens, and, everything should have its place in celebrating. But I think 10-year anniversaries, it's just not required, really. It's almost like yesterday. It's going to The Force Awakens or anything that happened 10 years ago, it was like yesterday. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I'm very aware of what's going on in the world or something like that, but it feels like yesterday. But when The Force Awakens came out, 3D was a thing, and 3D was, for me, a bit annoying because you had to take your glasses off. I've got glasses, and put 3D glasses on, which is annoying. It's just annoying. But it did, it was a stunning way to see a film. Back in the day, the first 3D film I ever got to see was Jaws 3D. It was just like, wow. 3D films, this is like amazing. Nowadays, it's more a bit inconvenient to sort of put these glasses on and sort of accidentally hit the lens, or when you're watching a film, or it can be a bit annoying, but it still has great advantages watching a film in 3D. I'd say the first 10 minutes is sort of aware. After that, it sort of becomes a bit seamless. But when The Force Awakens come out, one of the greatest products that Star Wars has ever released were 3D viewing glasses. This is the I'd say the first order trooper 3D glasses. Like, this is, in fact, it's on the side. It's got The Force Awakens, and it's got the information. But these are 3D glasses. I just thought, what a great idea. Unbelievable. So these ones I wore, but these ones, I bought another pair, And I've actually kept this in the package. Classic Star Wars collector. This is the Kylo Ren one. I just think these things are just great product ideas for Star Wars. Not the idea of just, sell, 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 but it's just creative and it's fun. Look at them. This is in the package. It's going to be worth a bit more money. This one's not in the package, but still. Who's got these? A nerd like me. And I am a Star Wars nerd. These get a 10 out of 10 immediately. When I knew about them, when I saw them, when I wore them, it was fantastic. It made 3D viewing extra fun. Anyway, that's my review. Let's get now into interviews. And before I take the leap into interviews, I need a bit of coffee. Oh, boy. The reason why I keep a spoon in the coffee is because it fails sometimes. But anyway, the reason why I'm eating this coffee is because we have a great viewer here. His name's Michael. He's not a big Star Wars fan, but he's becoming one. And he's from Werribee South, which is a hardened area of Melbourne, Australia. Not that hard, but, let's make a bit of charisma to the area. So Michael from Werribee South has written in, once again, with a comment, and he's got 4 questions. What is the first scene in the OT trilogy where we see Vader struggle with the dark side for the first time? This is a really good question because this is almost a matter of opinion. For me, the first instant that I saw, not a struggle, but almost like, a wariness of, things weren't right with him, is if you looked at little Anakin in The Phantom Menace, when little Anakin took Qui-Gon Jinn, Padme, C-3PO back to his home and had some sort of, let's say, snacks or dinner or whatever it is, he was asking Qui-Gon Jinn, which was a lead Jedi at the time, and he noticed he had a lightsaber. And the way he was asking these questions, in some of the scenes, he just looked a little bit suspicious, creating a bit of an intrigue. That's in my opinion. Where I think he was struggling, the beginnings of an inner struggle were almost there. But whether that's real or not, that's my opinion. But the official first struggles was when he was having nightmares in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, about his mum and stuff like that. And he really struggled with it when he went back to Tatooine and slaughtered a whole lot of sand people, including kids. The struggle began. That is technically the official first time in the cinematic area of where Anakin started to struggle with the dark side. It was in Attack of the Clones. To answer the question for Michael. Now, another question for Michael from Werribee South. What is the name and origin of the Millennium Falcon's unique hyperdrive? The Millennium Falcon, for starter, is the iconic round spaceship in Star Wars that is really headed by Han Solo, essentially. But what is the name and origin of the Millennium Falcon's unique hyperdrive? Well, there's actually no unique name for the hyperdrive. But funny enough, the Millennium Falcon got its name for being a legendary smuggler vehicle, a starship. Maybe is that how you would put it? So that's how it got its name. The deeper origins of that name that's yet to be unfolded here, but there is no name of the origins of the hyperdrive in the Millennium Falcon. But the actual Millennium Falcon had a, you know, a almost a robotic a communication that came from a droid that actually was seen in Solo, a Star Wars story. That's where the communication from that droid, when that droid passed away, died, whatever you want to say for a droid, I don't know what you would say, or disconnected, it was then inserted into the Millennium Falcon as the communications of the actual Millennium Falcon. A great starship. One of the best designs ever. Based on a hamburger. Can you believe it? Anyway, let's get into the next question. What is the name of the first clone trooper to die during the mission to even peel from Citadel? What is the name of the trooper who died during the mission to rescue even Peel from the Citadel? This is actually a question I couldn't even answer. I had to look it up. I mean, I'm pretty good with Star Wars, but I'm not like this, 100% trivia person. I still struggle with a lot of questions. It's so vast. That's why. Star Wars is so vast in its audio and its visuals and its characters, everything, which makes Star Wars amazing. But the actual answer to the question was Trooper Charger. If that means anything to you, Michael, that's the answer. Anyway, so his next and final question, why did Gina Carano take Lucasfilm to court? Will she come back in the future? This is actually a really good question. Gina Carano played like a rebel soldier in the first and second season of The Mandalorian. And she is actually an ex-wrestler in real life, even if you think wrestling is not real life, but it's real life. And she was unfortunately making remarks or comments through her own social devices that was causing a bit of a uproar in for Disney or Lucasfilm, in which she was, I don't know what it was, either removed or sacked from Star Wars. But recently she won a lawsuit in against Disney or Lucasfilm, and being mistreated in her either being removed or sacked. Will she come back in the future? I think personally the fans want her back, and I personally would like her back. I think she's great. It really depends on the bargaining power between Disney / Lucasfilm and Gina Carano. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I would love to see her back. She's definitely a staple part of The Mandalorian that just got missing in action, obviously, in season 3. But yeah, I would like to see her back. Whether she will come back in the future, well, that's really up to the gods. The gods. The gods of Gina and the gods of Disney and Lucasfilm. What will they do with each other? Anyway, so that is the interview section, which has been given us kindly from Michael from Werribee South, interviewing me, which is great. It's fun. If you have any comments, please send them in to my YouTube channel. I don't really go on the Instagram that much. I don't. So it's best to get it through the YouTube channel. Sending your comments, please like, share this video if you want. It's up to you. No matter, I will be back. But this is been The Force Always, in an amazing news time for Star Wars. We finally got The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, and we are still yet to feel the hardcore excitement for that, but it's getting good reaction. Anyway, until the next time, my friends, keep rocking.